All right, so here we go. Let's get to work. Thanks guys for popping on. I'm super excited about this. I have actually been, I have a busy day. So I was like, well, I'm gonna get up and throw some makeup on. Pregnancy face, blah, tough, but thank you. That's gracious of you. No, I'm excited to work today. I have been compiling some messages, and I'm gonna actually put them in the comments as we work, because we're gonna like target different, I don't know, demographics of people, or we're gonna target different things today because we have our event tonight. I also want to kick off with 3 asks, okay, because I really feel like it's important to keep talking to new people, not just circle back around to your massive follow-up list that you've exhausted multiple times over, So, and I've been listening to Brooke Hemingway's Work With Me Power Hours, and I've been gleaning some great things. So one thing I did want to mention to you guys, if you have some stuck messages where you're just like, whoa, I don't know what to say at this point, put them in the comments if you don't mind. And we'll be talking about those throughout the next hour, okay? That way, hopefully we can work through those and get past any sort of stuck feeling that you have in any of your messages. The other thing that I wanted to mention, don't forget that event at 7 p.m. tonight. If any of you are open to sharing your testimony, I know Justin's going to share his. He'll probably open the event tonight at 7. And then my assistant, Amanda, who has actually been an ambassador for 5 years, like she was one of my very first ambassadors that joined me, she's going to share her story. And then if any of you have never shared your story, or you're just like, well, hey, I'd be happy to share my story, or you're like freaked out about sharing your story, I need 1 to 2 more live testimonies. And I want to have kind of a smattering of different ones, not just like the proverbial 30-year-old tired mom story, you know what I mean? So anyways, or if someone's on your team that you're like, oh my word, she has such a great testimony. I mean, it's good to have all the different, everyone sharing. We don't have to look or sound the same. That's what the beautiful thing is. And that's one thing I'm loving about these Zooms that I'm hosting, is that for people that have been on the products long enough to share their story, is like they're hearing my story, and then they're hearing, the people that are hearing their friend's personal story. And a lot of times they're vastly different. And so it's just encouraging and exciting to hear different perspectives and how the same products have affected people different ways. So, okay, so first thing we're gonna do is do our 3 asks. So what I want you to do, because you may not make a habit of doing this, I want you to go back into your most recent Facebook story about Plexus, and you can actually find your archives in Facebook and Instagram. Like if you were like, oh man, I did a poll last week and I forgot to check it, or your Facebook post or Instagram post, I want you to go back and look and see who commented or liked the post. And I love to this point, and I totally agree with it. Brooke Hemingway on her Work With Me Power Hour that she did yesterday said, well, the difference between an amateur and a professional is, in the beginning of our journeys, a lot of times when you make some posts on Facebook, people just naturally come to you. Did anyone have that happen to them? I know everyone's journey is different, but when I first started, I was like, whoa, people are messaging me. They're not commenting, they're not liking, but like I'm getting these like messages. So that's cool. At some point that dried up and I started to be like, okay, I still want to sign up people. So I started to do the scary thing, which was reach out and initiate conversations. And Brooke Hemingway said that's the difference between, that is a hallmark of a professional in this industry, is that you're willing to sweetly and genuinely and kindly reach out and initiate conversations. And for those of us that look through our Facebook stories and our Instagram posts and things like that, be keeping a log, like get your notepad of paper or however you keep track of people, anyone that likes or comments or is watching your stories, like from beginning to end. If you're not making Facebook and Instagram stories, start doing it. I actually made a post on the team page last night. There is actually a group that you can go to where people have uploaded their beautiful graphics for stories. I don't feel like I have time to make graphics for my stories. Okay, so I just go and utilize other people's. If I am lacking inspiration, I will also go to people. I'll go to my uplines. I'll go look at Jessica Heffley. I'll go look at Sidelines too, Bridget Ryan, Brooke Hemingway, who else do I love to, whoever else, and I'll just be like, oh, ooh, I love that. Shelly Nisley is another kind of silent diamond. She's not like super like popular necessarily, but she's Trisha Rieger's sponsor, and she posts so beautifully, like everything that she makes for her kids for like meals and stuff she's posting about. They live in the country, like it's just so picturesque, and the way she posts about Plexus is absolutely stunning. So she mainly just puts stuff in her stories, and then her life stuff is her feed on Instagram and Facebook. But anyways, I go to her for inspiration, and so do not feel like you're less than if you're like, well, what do I post about today? Go check out other people's posts and what they're doing. Go check out mine. I don't know, you may not track with how I post, but it might give you some ideas for what to say. So what I want us to do right now is to go into our last Facebook story, Instagram post, and write down a list of at least 3 names, and I want you to reach out to them. And I'm going to give you some verbiage on how to reach out to them. Okay, so grab your phone, and while I'm pulling this up, I actually spent some time and copied and pasted some messages this morning so that I can easily copy and paste them into Zoom here. Okay, so here's some examples. Hey friend, I hope you're having an amazing day. I noticed you've had a chance to read some of my info on Facebook on the supplements that I take. I don't know how much you know about them or what I can do for you. Would you have a minute to watch a short video on the combo I take to see if it's something you want to look into more? That's a little bit wordy. I would tweak that a little bit. Here's another example. Hey Sarah, I'm just thinking here sitting how much you would love this stuff. I don't know if you've seen my stories on Active and our gut health system, even if you did see them watching your stuff, but it's given me so much energy, motivation, and helped me with other issues I was having. If I sent you a short video, would you have a minute to take a look? Do you notice that verbiage? If I, would you? So it's asking a question, and that's how you're ending it, and you're calling them to action, right? Asking a question and calling them to action. Most people say yes. Like they'll be like, okay, sure. Third example. Hey Jess, how are things going for you and your family? I feel like things are slowly getting back to normal over here. I noticed that so many of my friends are doubling down on their health and have been asked a ton of questions about gut health and getting truly healthy. Maybe you've seen me talking about it, maybe not, but would it be okay if I sent you a short video that explains the magic behind this simple system? So those are super, I think, genuine, sweet little messages. And I'm going to actually copy and paste this for you guys. You can copy and paste them into the notes. Whoop. Hold on. Just put them in the chat here. This is what I usually send. Morning, let's see. Hey, morning, Meg. Hey, I thought of, oh, hey, morning, Meg. Hey, thanks so much for supporting my recent posts and stories. Or hey, thanks for, being on my stories and supporting me there. Super sweet of you. I totally thought of you because of this fun event coming up on Thursday evening, or that would be tonight, about Plexus and what it's doing for peeps. I would love it if you'd pop on and give me your honest feedback. And hey, you may win a prize. And then you could, if you wanted to do this, you could say something like, hey, I'm sending free samples out to anyone who pops on live and interacts tonight. Do you mind if I send you over an invite? So that's my genuine, literally what I have been sending out to people. So that's probably the message I'll use, but it's always good to have a couple of different examples. Oh, Julie has a good point. I usually reach out to people to finish watching my stories. That's a good idea. Hey, yeah. Well, I haven't sent out any messages yet this morning for um, the event tonight, but for people that I have never reached out to before or that are legit potentials, not just, I'm trying to think, not just people that are already in that group. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of potentials that are still in there, so I'm going to do a follow up with them. I'll probably, I don't know. I guess it depends on how I feel. um, the same. I don't know. I haven't even thought about what prize. Probably a couple. I don't know. Amanda makes me little gifty packs. It has like a thing of lean, a stick of collagen, a slim, cute, boom, sent it out with a cute note. So something like that. But the amount of those that I would actually be sending out would not be like ginormous, probably. So yeah, if I want more interaction, I mean, people are motivated by little prizes. So if you want more people on and engaging, try it. I mean, what are you out, right? Right off. Okay, my timer went off. How are we going? Did you guys get a couple of messages sent out? You get 3? I just went through my internet is really weird right now, so it wasn't letting me access my complete list of people that were looking at my lean stories. But I did write down 2 names from Instagram, and then I wrote down a whole other list of names. I just was going through my Facebook posts, and I just want to remind you guys, if you have posts of value that a lot of people commented on, or maybe you made a post about active last or the beginning of this week and you had some Plexus people comment, go reply to those comments, because that's going to put your posts back into circulation, so to speak, on Facebook, and you'll bump those. So maybe you haven't made a Plexus post in the last couple of days like me, because life's been crazy, but go back and bump those posts and add some comments of value, even ask a question. I mean, it's okay to be interacting even with Plexus people. It'll bump your post back into the news feeds of people. The other thing too is, if you have some posts, like I did a post about like kids decorating kids' bedrooms, and a ton of people commented with ideas. I haven't even gotten around to like comment or like replying to all those comments, but that is part of your like intentional Plexus work, because it's not necessarily directly like messaging someone about Plexus, but the fact that you're connecting with people, you're interacting, you're working your network, so to speak, because we can't just like push Plexus all the time. If you scroll through my newsfeed, go check out my posts and go check out how many people liked and commented. Okay, I've made like 2 or 3 posts maybe in the last week or so about Plexus. The rest of it's been stuff that gives people the feels. So you want to be creative in your posting so that you're giving people feels. Okay, it can be like the simplest, mundanest of lifestyle, right? My boys came in with army outfits on. They were hilarious. I was like, oh my word, this is hilarious. Let me go get the camera. And I put a picture up. It was like super simple, and a ton of people liked and commented, right? Same with, hey, I'm stuck. I don't know how to decorate my kids' bedrooms. What are your ideas? Like, I legit have these thoughts. And so I put them out there. But the cool thing is it gets people engaging on your posts. And so you want to be making sure that you're creative in how you're sharing your life with people. Okay. Because we're not just like Plexus, 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 right? We want to be engaging and adding value to people. Also, when you're showing up in your stories every single day and using posts and content that other people create, that's fabulous. If you can add a poll to it, or you can add, some of those little GIFs that like put some stars on it, or just something that's interesting, it makes it more engaging. And also, if you can have like hey, you have questions, ask me, one of those little question, reply things, or something where they are applying, you do a poll, maybe not yes and no, but maybe like, yes, please, because you're like, do you want a sample? Or, hey, send me more info. Yes, please. Right. So I always have 2 positives so people can reply to that. And the other thing I was going to say is, as much as you can go live in your Facebook stories, you can record like a 60-second video to your phone. It'll break it up into 4 little chunks, and you can put verbiage on each one of those little videos. But the more people see your face, like when I look at people like Instagram influencers like Trisha Rieger, I mean, guys, she's kind of a self-proclaimed legit. She was a nobody when she started Instagram however many years ago. She legit got on there to share, like to sell furniture on the Instagrams to make money for her family because they were so poor and they were desperate. And she said she had a very, very small circle, like at church, maybe only a couple people that she was like friends with. And now she has this ginormous Instagram following. But the cool thing when I look at her and how she does her Instagram is that she's always showing up and talking. I mean, it can be like, hey, I'm putting on my makeup this morning. This is what I'm doing today. Like super simple. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out, but she's sharing her life with people. And that's what like connects people to you, especially like on Instagram. It's a wide open ocean. They're typically not like your close friends and family like Facebook is, right? Or people that you've met along the way. There's a lot of people like strangers. And so you will build rapport, you will build influence with people by being present and giving people you. You don't have to be perfect. Go watch my stories this morning. They were not perfect. It was totally off the cuff and kind of random, but I did some posts about lean, but they're kind of like It's kind of like just there, like just a post. If you're not showing up like after that story and saying, hey, this is my lean shake, it's super simple, here's what I'm taking, here's what I'm drinking, I love it because it's easy, it's simple, won't jack your blood sugars, gives me energy throughout the day, I'm pregnant right now, I need a lot of protein. Something simple, right? But that's what connects people to you. It endears them to you, right? And I'll just say yesterday I signed up 2 people for Plexus, and one of them was so fast. But I think it's because she's been on my stories and been watching me. And so then when I reached out to her, I was like, Cindy, which I think I've talked to her before about Plexus, but I'm like, hey, I'm seeing you're following my stories. Like, are you still thinking about trying Plexus? What are your thoughts? She's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, and I started asking her questions. She told me I'm 66, I need energy. These are the things I have going on. I'm like, okay, these are the 2 packs that I would recommend. Hey, can we chat on Facebook? And then she's like, okay, yeah, I'll do the basic pack. I'm like, okay, you ready now? I can put your order in. Boom, she sent me all her info, got her started. So I'm just saying consistency and showing up in your stories is important, and also consistency in engaging the people that you see that are consistently following you. Those are instant reach out lists. Okay. On an organizational level, how do you manage working Plexus while homeschooling kids? That is a great question. And it's a struggle of the juggle, right? But I find that prioritizing my time. So if you do not have our One Team planner, get it, because it's specifically designed by me and by people on our team. Like, we've been using this since December. And so it's been fine-tuned to serve all of us busy moms that do have a lot more going on than just Plexus in our lives, right? And so you basically have to map out your day. If you do not have a plan for your day, you're going to be running willy-nilly like a chicken with your head cut off and reacting to your day instead of responding to the things. And I get curveballs thrown at me also, like whatever, the cows get out, or kid number 5 or 6 has some sort of temper tantrum, meltdown, blowout, whatever. But I will say that getting a plan of paper is super helpful. When I first started Plexus, I worked a lot when my kids were sleeping. My kids were, 5 years younger than they are now. So they took naps in the afternoon. I had a baby that I was nursing 24/7. So if I was up in the night anyways, I would respond to messages. I don't know, hopefully people's phones didn't ding too badly, but I did that, where I was up early. Justin would leave early. He worked dark to dark at that point. And so there was a lot of hours where if the kids weren't up yet, or if they were off playing. I mean, I'm not one of those moms that sits and like plays My Little Pony all afternoon with the kids. Like, they entertain each other, they're outside, they're creative, like they're wild and crazy and they're awesome. But there's plenty of like little snatches of time, especially in the beginning, that I did. Now I work my business in chunks, and Justin and I had a discussion yesterday about what that looks like. We're in a new house, there's a lot of things going on, there's a lot of moving parts, and so right now I work till 10, like I have till 10 in the morning. So sometimes that looks like I'm going on a walk, I'm getting my shower in, like doing that stuff, reading and working my business. Other times it's like, you know what, I get up, I read, I pray, I throw on some makeup, throw on some clothes, and then I come to my office. So I've been in my office since 7 this morning, listening to some training so that I can help train you guys, taking notes, and then popping on this power hour. And so I have till 10 this morning to work Plexus, and then I will go engage with my kids until about 2. So from 10 to 2, Justin has time to get his stuff done. So we trade off and on. But right now, I mean, we're in a situation where he's home and I also have hired help. So I'm not doing it on my own, but that's kind of the story there. Alrighty, the next thing we're gonna do, if you guys are still sending out messages, fabulous. Alrighty. So the next thing, so you can like continue to do that later on today or tomorrow. This is just giving you kind of a little blitzy things to work on, okay? All right, the next thing we're gonna do is go in and send out invites to people about this event tonight. So there's a couple different categories of people that you'll want to be focusing on. Number 1 is any new ambassadors that join you this month, make sure that you send them the link. I do not ask permission to send that link to them. I send the link first, and then I send a little follow-up message, and I just say, hey, pop on this tonight. It's gonna be all about Plexus, testimonies, prizes, information. You wanna pop on, don't miss it, okay? And then I sometimes say, hey, you might win a prize or something. And so make sure that every new person that you personally sponsored this month or in April, or actually since the beginning of the year, that's what I'm going to be doing, is making sure all my peeps know about it. Okay, send them a link. And then another demographic of people. So write these like different categories down so that you're not missing anything. So your new ambassadors and your new customers. So don't forget your customers, because they can pop on as well. If you're not connecting them to resources, information, and other people in Plexus, you will lose them. Because introducing people to our culture is super essential, because they need to know they're not alone. They're not the only person that's ever tried Plexus. And there's a lot of people that have a lot of different health benefits from using the products. And so it's basically connecting them to more people besides you. And that's really, really important for social proofing and for third-party validation. And so that's why we host these little events. So if you make sure you're utilizing these events so that your people get plugged in. And also not just like sending them a link, but like reminding them, hey, we're popping on, don't forget. Go make sure that you go request to join the group, and then I'll approve you, because you're going to have to approve them into the group, and then you want to add and tag them, or I mean, you want to tag them on the welcome post. And then as different things post, make sure you have your list of people that are in the group, okay? And then as the event goes on, you want to be tagging them in the live videos. You want to be tagging them in certain posts that you feel like they would resonate with. So you're expending energy on these people, okay? So but that's the effective way to do this, not just like, hey, there's an event, pop your pop on, right? So another angle or another category of people that we're going to be sending invites to are potentials, okay? So people that, again, liked your story, liked your Facebook post, or you notice that they're tracking with what you're sharing, or maybe they've reached out, or maybe you reached out to them before. And so that would be the branding new people that you maybe have never contacted before. And if you get sweaty pits thinking of that, like, oh my word, I don't know if this person is like accidentally watching my stories, you have to stop that head trash. They're watching your stories because they're intrigued. All right, don't think any farther than that, okay? And you never know when people are praying for a health or financial answer, and you have the answer. We have the answer. Okay, and then the other one are the fence sitters. Your massive follow-up list that you hopefully have notebook pages full of, go back and just let them know about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll mute, and I will set the timer. I'll set the timer for 5 minutes. And I'm gonna pop those message samples in the comments in case you need some ideas and then inspiration for what to say. Okay. Alrighty. How are we doing? Did you guys get some sent out? Some invites? Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna make sure there's no feedback from my phone. It's easier to copy and paste from my phone on Zoom. Okay, and okay, let's try that. Alrighty, so the next thing that I'm gonna do with you guys is address any stuck messages. So do you guys have any stuck messages that you're not sure how to respond back to? If you do, like raise your hand you can like click that little raise hand button or pop it in the message thread, the chat thread, I mean. I'll share one. Have you guys ever had some people that just won't make a commitment? So this was actually something that Brooke brought up in her little examples yesterday. She said that she's popped back into messages and just said, hey Jamie, I just thought of you. I'm headed to the post office this morning and I have these 3-day sample boxes and I thought of you. Would you be game if I popped one in the mail for you? It's $20. If you decide to do the skin and beauty one, also I'll do 2 for $30. What do you say? So I liked her verbiage on that. She said a lot of times that she will actually send out both boxes and she'll just do 2 for $30 instead of one for $20. Because she said usually when people try that many things, that they'll end up seeing results and they'll end up seeing finding something that they love, because the skincare, the Joyome, the collagen, and then you have the I don't remember, was it the Renew You boxes or whatever they were called, that has like lean, pink drink, and it's a really great little combo. I think Metaburn. And so she was just encouraging everyone to be creative with your verbiage, like, hey, I was thinking of you. I'm literally heading to the post office right now and I thought you might like a sample also. So that's a great little creative way to follow up with someone and to help them at least get started on some samples. And then the other thing is, you can drop ship those from your back office. Like, you don't have to be shipping those directly from your post office. It's actually like kind of expensive. It's almost $10 to ship those little boxes. So drop ship them, use PayPal. They can PayPal you for the cost or whatever. So that's one thing. The other thing I will just say really quickly about samples is I don't utilize samples that much. It's more of like a last ditch resort if I can't get someone signed. Like if they're him-hawing around, I will just be like, hey, would you like to try a sample? Would you like to try a sample box? The other thing is, you don't have to feel like you have to foot the bill for everyone's samples, okay? Just wipe that idea from your head. I haven't sent people taste tests before if they've really, really, really needed a taste test, but to me, there's a 60-day money back guarantee, so they might as well get on the products for 60 days because they're going to see a lot more in a longer test trial period than a 3-day sample box or one taste test. Okay, the sample boxes are basically, let's see if it fits in your routine, let's try it, let's sample it, let's taste test, and plug into our little informational group that educates why you're trying it. Okay. Okay. What about neutral responses? Do you guys ever get neutral responses back from messages that you send? So like maybe you sent someone a little message like, hey Kim, I thought of you. I would love to chat with you more about Plexus. I was just curious if you've ever considered it, if you'd be game for giving some products a try. And then maybe they respond back with like, oh, hey, thanks so much for thinking of you or thinking of me. I'm getting ready to have my baby in a couple of weeks and it's busy here or whatever. And they kind of like say thanks for thinking of me, but they don't necessarily say no, but they don't necessarily say yes. So more of a neutral response. And so what I would encourage you guys to do in that type of situation is engage them and engage the person about what's going on in their life. Like, hey, oh my goodness, I didn't realize you were expecting or whatever. I don't know. Tell me how your pregnancy has gone. You know, have you felt pretty good this time around? And, you know, engage in conversation. And then Be curious, okay? Be curious. Ask for permission and say, hey, maybe you don't have experience with it, but I do, so I could speak to it and say, hey, I cannot believe how much Plexus has helped my pregnancies and actually my postpartum period. I don't know if you dealt with any postpartum blues or lack of energy or anything like that, everyone. But if I sent you a little video, would you take a peek at it? And then send out the microbiome video, okay? If you're gonna send out videos, like when you're asking for permission to send a video, if you know the person is more into weight loss or they need that, send the Plexus Triplex video. That one is more weight loss focused. And so if someone is like really into gut health or, more on the crunchy side of things, send the microbiome video to those other people. So those are the 2 60-second little videos that I send out, and they're super, super helpful. Okay, let's talk about previous experience type person that maybe you've reached out about the business and they're like, oh, been there, done that, not interested. Instead of just leaving that conversation and being like, okay, thanks for chatting, and like skirting away from it, press in a little bit and just be curious. You don't have to be pushy. I don't ever recommend that, but be curious, like, oh my word, tell me about your experience. Because they may have been in some sort of network marketing company where they had to buy a lot of inventory, or there were sales quotas, or. And so before you can speak into a situation, before you can even talk about like the difference that Plexus is, you have to find out what their experience was. And so anyways, I just thought that was really encouraging to think through, like, instead of backing away from conversations, to press in and engage. And so actually, let me look right here. I think I had some verbiage. Okay, so here's actually a message example for people who say no to MLMs. I'm going to copy and paste it for you. But basically it's like, hey, I'm so glad you totally feel comfortable being honest and sharing your experience and feelings about MLMs. Honestly, I don't think anyone wakes up and says, what MLM am I going to join today? There are good and bad things out there, and it sounds like you've never really had a great experience or stable income. I'm curious what types of businesses you've done in the past and what your experience was in support and actually being able to make income. So do you see how that message is like really specific? Let's see. Oh, sorry, it posted it twice. But anyways, it's really specific and it's asking curious questions, and it's also agreeing with the person, and kind of stating the elephant in the room. Yeah? Do these help to have kind of like example messages to look at? Hopefully. You can be copying and pasting those in the notes into your phone too, if you need to. Okay, the next thing I'm going to have you guys do is we're going to do some vision casting. Now, if you're brand new and you don't have a team yet, you maybe only have helped a couple people start, like brand new this month or maybe last month. I still want you to be reaching out to potentials. Okay, the name of the game at this point, if you're brand new, is reach out, reach out, reach out. Help them get started, help them sign up. Okay, but if you have built any sort of team, then you really need to be thinking, how can I build this faster and smarter? If you are only depending on your own personal recruiting, unless you're super awesome and can sign a lot of people really fast and continue that up for months and months, you have to get duplication happening on your team, and that's not going to come by osmosis. And if I've done anything wrong over the past 5 years, or especially the first year or two in my business, thankfully I went emerald in 11 months, and so there was a lot of duplication happening on my team, but I led by example, but I did not do this in the beginning, and I should have. There's a lot of people that I missed out on because I was just so heavily concentrating on my own personal recruitment. And that's honestly a strength of mine. So I can still personally recruit a lot of people if I make that a big focus of my work time. Okay. But I will say that is not the only thing. That's not how you build a massive organization. If that's what you're wanting to build, or even if you're wanting to build a team up to gold or to senior gold or to ruby, and you want that stable income, you need to be helping your people help 3. Okay. And so, here's another message I want to address. Okay. So we're going to talk about vision casting. I have a training that I still need to listen to, and I'm going to be sharing what I learned from that. But I want to encourage you guys, if you are not looking at your team to see who could rank up or who might be interested in hosting some sort of little event, you're missing out big time by not asking the question, okay? Because a lot of people simply need asked. So here we go. Here's an example. So what you need to do is go in your back office and even flip back to the month of April so you can see where people ended their month. Okay, so maybe you have someone that is just a couple people away from super silver. They may not even know that. So it's your job to let them know that, hey, you could totally do this. Sometimes people need you in their life saying, you can do this, I'll help you. Let's work together on this. Okay, so here's an example. Oh my gosh, Sally, as I sat down to work today, I realized that you're only 5 people away from receiving another awesome bonus from Plexus. It wasn't that hard it wasn't that hard finding 5 people to start on the products and bring a few of your friends that are really loving it. I really want to help more people experience the results Plexus can bring, and we could work together and help you reach that next level of bonuses. If you get 5 more people started, you'd earn a $150 bonus Plexus Plexus between 2 and 400 in welcome pack bonuses. So basically 350, excuse me, to 550 this month. It's so simple, and I have a few ideas. Would you want my help in creating this income for your family? You see how simple that is? I'm going to put that in the chat thread here. But filter through your back office and look and see who those people are that could rank up to silver. Maybe they've added 1 or 2 who could be super silver. And did you notice that in that message, that verbiage wasn't used? You don't have to say silver. A lot of people freak out and they're like, oh my word, I'm working a business if you start using network marketing language. Let's help a couple of friends, all right? They don't have to be working a business to go silver or to go super silver. And you can actually do the work for them and help them with that, okay? Because you have more of a skill set than the person that just joined or the person that you're helping to go silver. If you signed even 1 person, I mean, obviously you signed that person, so that means you have more experience than them. All right. So, so I want you guys to all identify 1 person to reach out to on your team and message them about this. Okay. Ready, set, go. I'm going to mute for a couple minutes and then I'll pop back on. Okay, so I just wanted to encourage you guys, if you don't have your team on paper, get them written down on paper, maybe in your journal, so that you have at a one-stop little look, you can see who your people are. And you may be categorizing your people differently than I do at this point, but just having them pen to paper so you can easily see them will be super helpful. Hey, bud. Um, One thing else also that I was going to mention is these people that you reach out to about, hey, would you be open to my help in helping you create extra income this month? Or hey, you're only 3 people away from gold, or whatever it is. Those don't have to just be your level ones. I highly encourage tap rooting into your team, encouraging people down underneath your level ones, underneath your level twos, level threes. When you do that, you will create a really, really strong base for your foundation for your team. So I just wanted to encourage you. Yes, it takes more time. Yes, it takes more effort. Yes, it's your ambassadors' jobs to be doing that. But when you come in as third party validation and as a leader and as someone with a lot of experience, you have no idea how much that influences people and inspires people to do the things. And so I just want to encourage you guys to do that. It is the essence of love and serving, because it does take more time. But it is so important to do that. So yeah, exactly. Amy said slowing down to speed up. Mapping out your people is huge. So if you feel really scattered, like I don't even know like who to get in your back office today and make a map of that and figure out who those people are. Okay. So like what I'm doing here right now during this power hour is basically setting you up so you have like the next week of work mapped out till our next power hour. Okay. Because we just did basically little teasers of like your invites. Okay. Because you'll want to, I mean, this is just me saying, hey, if you want momentum on your team, you are going to have to spend 30 minutes to an hour sending out invites before the event tonight, right? If you want massive duplication happening on your team, you're going to have to spend time mapping it out. And maybe you're new and you have a lot of new people from last month. Maybe what you're going to do at this point is find out who wants you to host a Zoom for them. Okay. And that's the next thing that we're going to do really quickly is I'm going to give you verbiage for inviting to those little Zooms. Okay. Here is, here it is. Okay. So here's an invite to hosting a Zoom. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, it's the little 30-minute quick blitzy events that we're hosting on Zoom, which are face-to-face. They're very simple, super casual. And so I've been hosting them for level ones and they bring their potentials to them. Or maybe it's a level 1 and a 2 and they bring their potentials. Okay, this is not like a team event where we're building belief necessarily. This is you get your potentials. Let's talk to them about Plexus and let's help them get started. Okay. And so they typically have, my testimony first, we cover the products, I cover the basics of the wholesale membership thing, and then I have a strong close to get them on board, which includes a special for the next 24 hours. Okay. So here's an example. Hey, good morning. Lately, we've been gathering friends together to talk about gut health and root healing on small group Zooms. I thought of you and would love to do one for your friends to help them understand how important this is. It's only 30 minutes, it's super casual, and they learn what this can do for them. Would you be game for hosting one? And then you could say tonight, tomorrow, this week. Okay. We're not pushing this out 3 weeks from now. Okay. The immediacy, there is benefit to being spontaneous in your business. I mean, there are small seasons, or there are short windows and seasons in your business where you're going to have to be flexible. If you're only working between 2 and 4 every single day because you're super, super structured in your life, congrats. Like that is super awesome. But if you're wanting to grow a business fast and hit the ground running and really kick off some momentum, you're going to have to be a little looser with your boundaries and be willing. I'm not saying you have to host Zooms every night of the week, but a lot of times I'll stack them. I'll be like, hey, Tuesday night, I can do 7, I can do 7:30, I can do 8, I can do 8:30, I can do 9, and have them pick a time, right? And so you see how that immediacy and that urgency will get them also into action sooner, because then you're going to help them send out some invites and you're going to give them examples of what to send. Actually, first you're going to have them make a list of like 10 to 20 people, and then you'll send them. So it's like little tiny tidbits that you'll give them. I'm also going to throw another invite in here also. So here's an example of what they would send, or if you're hosting one for yourself or your sponsor is hosting one for you, this is an example of what to send to a potential about your Zoom. Whoops. So it's just something simple like, hey, I was thinking about you today and how much you love health and wellness. I started taking some products that focus on that. It's all about gut health, root healing, and clean products that make you feel happier and look healthier. We're doing a Zoom at noon tomorrow, and it's super casual and fun. I'd love to see your face. Would you be game for popping on? And you can actually send these via voice message as well, which I recommend because then it's more personal to them and to you. So those are just examples of that. So let's take a couple of minutes. Ooh, whoa, we have 1 minute. Let's take 1 minute and pick someone from your team to send that invite to. Okay, so I just put a little message to my friend Amy, who's a wholesale ambassador under me, and I said, "Morning, Amy. I thought of you. Lately, I've been hosting fun little casual 30-minute Zooms to chat with peeps about gut health and root healing. Would you be game for hosting one and inviting a few friends to come and learn?" So I'm going to see what response I get from that. And so it is my goal to message like all of my wholesale people and find out who would be game for that. Okay. All right, the last thing I would just want to talk about really quickly is a recommitment message. So have any of you sent out those 3-day sample boxes or even just a sample and people still haven't tried it? Anyone besides me? I have a girl named Christine who said, she's like, I will follow up with you in the morning. I am opening that box tonight and I'm using the stuff. But I loved this verbiage where it's basically like kind of a funny little message where you're like, hey, I thought of you this morning. I know you have the samples. Let's open your box and give it a try. Don't be scared. Ha ha ha. You know, so if you have some people that have been non-committal about even opening their samples, send them those little recommitment messages. I also encourage you to keep like a Excel spreadsheet or a notebook page of people that you've sent samples out to. I just started having my assistant keep track for me, but that is an immediate follow-up list, an easy follow-up list, I should say, to check back in with those people and find out if they use their samples. And if so, then encourage them to utilize that, whatever it was, 20% off little discount code card that came in their sample box. One washed her sample, left it in her pocket. Oh dear. Well, that would be interesting. You can think of a creative way to be like, hey, maybe you should just go ahead and try the products, pop on for 60 days and see what you think. All right, does anyone have any quick questions? Any stuck messages or responses that you're really not sure how to take care of? If not, then thank you guys for popping on. I really enjoy these little sessions. I am learning as I am like teaching these things. I'm doing Brooke's coaching, and it's been helpful for me to just hear her talk. And so I hopefully it's been helpful to just hear and talk about the messages and exactly what to say and see the examples and verbiage posted. I told Amanda that I would really love it if we could make like a messaging Bible for one team, like a mastermind messaging PDF, and you guys can print it off. But just where basically I have in the notes of my computer like all of these messaging examples, but just where a one-stop shop for hey, here's messaging examples, and these are the different categories of people that we send to, because there are a lot of different messages that I send, but it's based on like why I'm reaching out to them, who it is, time of the month that, you know, whatever event is going on, hosting, things like that. So all right, I need to pop off. You guys have a fabulous day, and I'll be looking forward to sharing a few more things with you, some insights from the webinar, and yeah, all the things. So stay consistent with your IPA. Super proud of you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.